Ja Morant was certainly a human highlight reel this season. But how exactly do we evaluate a guy who played one of the easiest schedules in the country against teams like Spalding and played a schedule that was basically the equivalent of playing Prairie View A&M 33 times and was one of the bottom 100 schedules in the country? How do you put that into context? Do you ignore the fact that he can still really shoot and pass and make plays and really performed against some of the top teams in the country too? Ja Rules, a Ja Morant scouting report. Make sure you check out the Zion Williamson scout that's already out at ScoutWithBryan on Twitter. And I'll have the full article breakdown on Ja coming later today as well. First of all, you definitely see flashes of a great athlete, all right? People have mentioned Westbrook. I don't see that comparison exactly, but there's no question he's a good 2-foot leaper, kind of deceptively athletic, finishes strong at the rim. Like I mentioned, though, the 2 feet thing is an issue sometimes. You see plays like this where he gets to the rim, beats the pick and roll coverage, and then you see, this is what we call, again, jump it off 2 feet, forces him to hang in the air a little bit longer. Can be effective, it's a solution, but it also leads to him getting his shot blocked relatively often. I don't see that same explosion that you see in Russ as a 1-foot leaper who can attack any big and finish strong at the rim. It can certainly be trained into him, but for now, he's a guy that prefers kind of these glide shots and not the straight-on attacks like Russ has, where he can jump almost from the free throw line off 1 foot and hang and finish. What do I see in Ja, though? Again, the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Russ is hustle and motor. I don't see that in Ja all the time. I see it a lot of the time. I see a fiery competitor. I see a kid that's really improved and shot up the charts. But when you watch him, especially defensively, you don't see him going all out every possession. You don't see him attacking the glass relentlessly. You see him kind of out of the fight like he is on plays like this. You see on a turnover like this where he's about even with his man, him slowing up and not really going for the chase down blocks and big highlight plays that Russ can make. I'm glad, though, I kept watching because this, even though he's not Russ, there's a lot to like about this kid. All right, when you watch him play out of pick and rolls, first and foremost, he has an NBA-ready skill set. He is a big-time passer from the get-go. This will translate directly into being already one of the best passers in the NBA, without a doubt. Similar to De'Aaron Fox a little bit, similar to Trae Young as a passer. He's great just at using his pace, using his rhythm, reading the pick and roll coverage, like he rejects a screen here, and then getting these type of 4-on-3s, right? He reads, reject dribble through his legs, attacks, and then he reads the next level. He's got a 4-on-3 here, and if this man steps up and leaves the big man, he's got to dump off to the big at the basket. You see how he even has that no look. Got a lot of that Rondo type tricks, just a natural playmaker. Jeff Teague was a guy that really came to mind. And I know he's not the biggest name in the world, but don't forget, Jeff Teague made an all-star team with this Atlanta team that won 60 games. Overall, had a really, really strong career, still has a really strong career as a starting point guard in the NBA. Same type plays, big-time guy that just uses his pace, uses his dribble, reads the coverage, rejects, makes plays for others. This is a set that Portland loves to run, an NBA set, and these are the kind of passes, NBA passes, that he makes right away. These kind of lefty hook passes. He is big time, getting his man on his back, keeping the big man engaged, and then hooking especially these left-hand hook passes right on time, right on target. Makes you see a lot of Luka, a lot of the best passers in the NBA already. Once again, you see in the NBA, you don't see the same pick and roll coverage every time. The best pick and roll players are going to see different coverages to keep him guessing. No matter what he saw in the tournament against Marquette, against Florida State, He was in these games both for basically the entire game, all 40 minutes, handled the ball on every single possession. Just every play was for him, and he really did it all. He carried them in this game. It was unbelievable. You see this inside-out dribble to attack the big. Doesn't finish at the basket, but this was a big-time read even to get to that basket. The finishes will come with time. Marquette, no matter what they tried on pick and rolls, just could not contain him. You see again, he does a great job just changing speeds. Coming off the first screen, bringing it back, setting his man up to go left, and then crossing back to the right, going right at the big. You see again, so good. Rejecting these pick and rolls. He is so hard to contain, especially in the pace and space NBA where there's a lot more room. He's great getting into these gaps and attacking. Another guy comes to mind, somebody like Mike Conley. Not the biggest athlete in the world, but he does a great job, again, just reading his man, going away from the screen here, and then he's got another 4-on-3. Reading the help. Help this time comes off the corner. Great at finding that kick-out pass. Super unselfish player. Just has a phenomenal basketball IQ, feel for the game. You see it again here. Going at the big. Going past the hedge, beating him. And again, big man steps up. Great job there. Passing to his big. In the NBA, that's a finish. And you hear scouts talk about too, just the touch he puts on his passes. He knows exactly how to deliver the ball into guys' shot pockets. Again, on time, on target. He can make the hard passes when he needs to. You see him reject here, get into the gap again. It's just one-on-one basketball, but he's really hard to contain. Always usually gets, draws extra help with his first move, right? This crossover dribble right here. You see how the defense has to collapse and sink in and be ready to help. So he's reading. The guy in the corner comes in to help on the big man. So he kicks this pass out up high. Nice touch. Leads to an open corner three. And as much as I see him use his left hand, he is so ambidextrous. I almost started to think that he might actually be a lefty. He seems more comfortable making these lefty passes. But then you also see he could do it with both hands, easily do it with his strong right hand as well. Once again, this is next level too. When you see this, goes against the hedge in the pick and roll. That doesn't give him anything right away. So he squares his man back up again. Hesitation dribble, blow by, big steps up, deliver it right to the big at the basket. This is NBA stuff right here. He will be a guy that can come in, get 8 or 9 assists a game right from the get-go. Will be one of the best creating point guards in the league right away. Like Harden, sometimes gets these screens super high up, which gives him a head of steam to really attack. Goes at the bigs, hangs in the air, makes the right play. Would rather create for others than himself. Again, the NBA is a matchup-oriented league. You see Bud calling out spread here. Teague loved to attack mismatches. If he ever had a big switched on him, he would just back it out to half court and try to get downhill against the big. I see Ja being able to play that same way. A lot of switching in the NBA today. He's going to be a guy that can take that mismatch, go downhill, attack off the dribble, and make plays. You see again here, Teague, simple basketball, the in-and-out dribble going downhill, collapses the defense, forces the corner guy to come in, kicks to the corner, the defense X's out, so he gets basically the hockey assist there on the extra pass. Again, you see that just change pace. That's what I see out of Ja. The headiness, the stuff that Conley has to his game, Rubio, all the vet point guards in the league, guys that have been around for a long time. You see that already in spades from Ja. And you know what else you see? You see a shot too. the ability to keep the defense honest. A lot of college defenses seem like they try to cheat under these screens because I guess they're so worried about Ja getting downhill. He can also hit from deep behind as well. Against Florida State, I believe he made his first 4 or 5 threes of the game. A big-time performance to show me, too, on short rest after dominating Marquette and handling the ball all game there. He came right back against Florida State with a lot of swagger and just killed them in the first half. Ultimately, his team ran out of gas, but he made some big-time shots like this that showed he could really hit shots off the dribble, off the catch, off the step back, a little bit of Lillard-type move to him there. Finds his rhythm, got a decent package to really go to get his own shot off. Really smooth game. You see, he's a vet. He knows what he's doing. You just watch him play. He's feeling the pressure up high, so he tells his big man, come on up, set it a little bit higher. You see him holding his man off with that right hand. Little in and out, hesitation dribble. Gets his man to go under the screen. Fires from deep. Big-time shooter. He's going to need that in the NBA. There's some questions about his shot. I see him being able to really make guys respect it, though, against the unders, which is all you really need to do. If they respect his shot in the NBA, if he can at least shoot threes around the 35% or so in his first year and going up, going forward, I think he'll be a really good shooter off the bounce, from behind the three at least. What I do see a little bit, he's not so comfortable in the mid-range, not so comfortable with a floater, not great at these elbow pull-ups, kind of seems to hesitate a lot, miss a lot of those short. If there's one area to nitpick, I think he does need to get better shooting in that mid-range area to make guys respect it, but I still prefer right now at least that he can string out hedges and hit these deep threes. Against the unders, hit these deep threes. Right off the catch, like Lillard you see sometimes, will just shoot these off the catch if his man's far back. That's NBA distance. Big time touch, big time follow through. I'm not worried about his shot translating to the next level. And then on top of it, like I said, his playmaking, that's what really separates him. I think from the start, he'll be one of the best playmaking guards in the NBA. You see the bigs coming down, kind of like a double drag here, but he's already got the mismatch. He's got the big on him in transition. So he's going to go, you see him, he's so tight with his handle. He's able to do these behind the backs, through the legs, attract more and more coverage, find kick out for threes. You see Teague there too. Against the double drag, this is going to be a common set for Ja in the NBA, and he's going to do these same type things. Reject the screen, get downhill, draw the big, find bigs for the dump off, or find threes. Man, look at these passes. I mean, this, like I said, this is Harden-esque. Catch and go right away in transition. Draws all 5 to the rim. Look at him keep that ball through traffic. Deliver a perfect pass. Right on a dime to the corner. And then he always has his head up too. Just a smart, simple play. In transition all the time after a rebound. He's always looking up. A simple little thing that a lot of guards today don't do a good enough job as. Like I mentioned, with that left hand, he is phenomenal, even off the bounce. People don't appreciate how difficult of a pass this is. To be going on a move, full speed. This is weak hand. Full speed coming down in transition. You see that lefty push pass off the bounce. Lead his guy right to the rim. Big time flair to his game. 3-on-2, simple basketball again. He just reads the coverage. He reads what the defense is doing. 3-on-2, they collapse in, take away the lob, finds the corner. Game comes easy to him. I love things like this too. Once again, the play isn't necessarily open. The plays are duck in for the big man. He's not comfortable enough to make this pass right now. So he tries to read that and attack at the big. Ends up attacking baseline. You see him. This is the stuff you see once again from Luke all the time. He'll get caught in the air, wait for the corner. Baseline drive means baseline drift. So he waits for his guy to drift to the corner, hangs in the air, lefty push pass to the corner, ends up creating a big catch and go situation. Gets a lot of guys catches to attack off closeouts if they don't have the open three right away. And then you see a lot of guys, Marquette was so desperate they ended up just running a straight trap at Ja late in the second half. You see a lot of guys, even in the NBA level, just panic and get rid of the ball here. Not only does he get rid of the ball, he attacks this double team and ends up making this, again, lefty hook pass to find a wide open shooter against the trap. This is a big-time field play. This is the stuff you really can't teach. This is kind of the intrinsic, born as a point guard type thing. This isn't quite on Jokic's level as one of the best outlet passers in the league, but this is pretty high up there too. Not many guards can make this full court type pass over their heads, right on the money, all the way to the basket. You see so many passes at him that are just beautiful to make you really, really appreciate, again, that lefty off the bounce in transition. Right on the money, right through traffic. I don't know if I mentioned Rondo yet, but once again, you see some of these Rondo type tricks. You can tell he watches a lot of film. There's a favorite move of Rondo right here. Once again, knows how to get up in the air, make the defense collapse. Guy comes in to help off the corner right here. So he knows that's the open pass. He'll see one pass away, two passes away. There's not many passes he can't make. Perfect amount of touch to lead bigs to the rim. And like I said, spaced out NBA. He's going to attack his man. He's going to go by his man. He's going to make help step up. He's going to find bigs at the rim. He is a nightmare to guard one-on-one. Has some tricks to his game too. Get some extra finishes off as well. Another thing I like to see, like I said, he played 40 minutes basically against Marquette. And not only that, not only did he handle the ball a ton and push in transition and run in pick and rolls, they run sets for him too that allow him to come off some movement. This requires a lot of endurance and great cardio, obviously. This is a UCLA type play, cuts all the way through, comes back off a handoff, and then reads the play. This first option out of it. They clear out the backside for the lob. Look how perfect that lob pass is delivered. You see, even in the second half, he's still coming off movement, cutting through the lane, coming off bumps. Look how much wiggle he has to his game. This is something, again, you want to succeed in the NBA, you kind of just have to have this ability. They tried trapping him here. They're throwing everything at him. Doesn't matter. Still able to ride it out. Get back to one-on-one. Ends up going for the up and under. A little too adventurous, but there's so much attention on him, it opens up the offensive glass. Nice counter here. Murray State has some nice sets they run. This time it ends up being a cross screen for the big. So you see Ja really string it out, go past the big, be able to make now this right pass right on target. Once again, being trapped, doesn't matter. Herky jerky. Look at that. Man, oh man. This isn't even who the play is for. Just realizes against the trap, this big man works underneath. Is able to hook that left pass on a dime. That zip. See him run it against Florida State as well. They were overplaying a lot. That tells me a lot too, that he reads the play, not afraid to keep working to get open. The back cut there. Again, an NBA big, that's probably a finisher. Kick out to a corner three. Defensively, I don't really know, to be honest with you. On Murray State, I guess, they know how much he has to do for them offensively. They have some other guards who can really defend. When I watch Ja, I mostly see him in the corner, guarding non-shooters, and pretty much not doing much of anything. All right, you're not supposed to do much of anything here. You can be in a little bit better of a stance, down and ready. He can definitely get better at that, being more engaged, being lower and ready to play, and staying in a stance. But once again, they're asking so much of him offensively. I think he basically just, takes his rest, takes a little bit of time defensively. You see that even when they pick up full court, they've got their other guards and wings being up and pressuring. And Ja is back here, guarding somebody who's not really as much of a threat, at least. And this is what he spends most of his possessions doing. He'll gamble for steals way too much from behind. Got some discipline things he'll have to work out. Overall, though, I see a solid frame, solid athleticism that should translate to being a good NBA defender if he wants to be. So overall, once again, what do I see? I don't see exactly Russ. I don't see this. I don't see this explosion off 1 foot to be able to get to the rim whenever he wants. I see somebody who's more like Teague, who can be deceptively athletic, but got there in his career by knowing how to change his speed, knowing how to hesitate, go slow to fast, get by his man, force switches, create space, and then be impossible to cover one-on-one. Somebody who reads the pick and roll coverage and is great at rejecting screens and knowing when they're messed up in their pick and roll coverage, and then also can be deceptively athletic, like I said, from time to time. Definitely see, like I said, this kind of herky-jerky ability, this wiggle, to be pretty much unguardable in one-on-one situations, to get by almost anybody, to have a big-time NBA handle, to be a big-time NBA passer, put great touch when it needs to be, put passes right on time and on target. Thanks for watching Ja Rules, Ja Morant Scouting Report. Make sure, you read the full article. Overall, yeah, I'm not going to take him over Zion. But I think for some teams like Chicago, it's definitely worthy of at least a discussion. I think he's an NBA-ready point guard from day one. I think he's further along in his development, obviously, than Zion. And I think he's a big-time player from the get-go in the NBA who's really, really worthy of a top pick. Make sure you follow on Twitter at ScoutWithBryan, patreon.com/ScoutWithBryan if you want to support. Even $1 a month is much appreciated. And again, make sure you check out the Zion Scouting Report and the full breakdown at ScoutWithBryan on Twitter. Thanks for watching.